The Pitt explained.
The thing that sets the Pitt apart before you've seen a single frame is who assembled it. R. Scott Gemmell, who spent years writing for ER and then ran NCIS Los Angeles for nearly a decade, brought that history to John Wells, who produced ER, and they built the show around Noah Wyle, who spent 11 seasons on ER as Dr. John Carter. This is ER calling itself back into existence, with a different name and a new address.
And the thread doesn't stop at Wyle. Katherine LaNasa, who plays Dana Evans, had a guest role on ER. Michael Hyatt, who plays Gloria Underwood, also guest starred there. So you've got the lead, 2 supporting cast members, the creator, and the executive producer, all with ER on their resume.
Wyle is also an executive producer on The Pitt, not just the lead. He's in the room shaping the show, not just showing up to perform. That's a different kind of investment. ER at its peak was drawing close to 48 million viewers in a single week. He spent over a decade in that moment. The Librarians, Leverage, Redemption, and then this, which reads like a deliberate return to that territory.
Patrick Ball plays Langdon. He's in more episodes than anyone except Wyle. Before this, he was essentially unknown. The Pitt is the role that put him in front of a serious audience for the first time, which is a significant thing to ask of someone.
What makes it work is the depth around him. Fiona Dourif plays McKay, and she came into this with real range already built. Christopher Nolan directed her in Tenet. Paul Thomas Anderson cast her in The Master. She had a main role in Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency on BBC America. But the most specific thing about her is the Dourif family dimension.
Her father is Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky in the Child's Play franchise since 1988. Fiona played Mika Pierce, the protagonist fighting Chucky, in those same films from 2013 through 2024. Father and daughter in the same franchise for over a decade, on opposite sides of the same horror story.
That's not a metaphor. They were literally cast as adversaries in the same horror universe for over a decade. She wasn't just following her father into the industry, she was cast against his most iconic creation.
Katherine LaNasa has a background almost nobody would guess. Before acting, she was a professional ballet dancer, North Carolina School of the Arts at 14, Milwaukee Ballet Apprenticeship, Ballet West in Salt Lake City, Carol Armitage's company. Her father was a surgeon. She grew up in a medical household before she ever set foot on a television set.
She's had real longevity since. Truth be told, for multiple seasons, Big Love, a run of features. But years of ballet training is something you carry permanently. It shapes how you inhabit space, how you move. That's not just biography. Taylor Dearden, who plays Mel King, is Bryan Cranston's daughter. Full name, Taylor Dearden Cranston. She'd done Sweet Vicious on MTV and American Vandal Season 2, but this is a different scale.
Bryan spent years on Malcolm in the Middle before Breaking Bad changed how people thought about him. There's something in that shape, starting in one kind of work, then finding a register that opens up what you can actually do. Robin Dearden, Taylor's mother, is also an actress. The whole household runs in this direction.
Issa Briones plays Santos, and she was born in London, while her father, John Briones, was doing the West End run of Miss Saigon. Her parents actually met auditioning for that same show in Stuttgart. She grew up in Los Angeles and became the youngest performer in the first national touring company of Hamilton.
She made her Broadway debut in Hadestown as Eurydice in 2024. She and her father appeared in the same episode of The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story. Like the Dourifs, their work literally intersects on screen. 2 cast members who've shared a scene with a parent.
She also did Star Trek Picard for 3 seasons, playing synthetic characters across different timelines. Ifichor, meanwhile, had spent years in British theater and television. She had the lead role in Show Trial, a BBC courtroom drama in 2021, and appeared in David Tennant's final Doctor Who episodes at Christmas 2009.
Sean Hitosi plays Abbott, and The Pitt is his 3rd John Wells project. Southland for Wells from 2009 to 2013, Animal Kingdom for Wells from 2016 to 2022, and now this. 3 different genres: cop procedural, crime drama, medical, same producer. He also did Orphans opposite Al Pacino at the Greenway Court Theater in Los Angeles.
Animal Kingdom ran for 6 seasons. That's a decade of creative collaboration before they got here. Michael Hyatt, playing Gloria Underwood, comes in with one of the deepest resumes in this cast, arguably the deepest. Brianna Barksdale on The Wire for 4 seasons, Sissy Saint on Snowfall from pilot to series finale, all 7 seasons. The West Wing and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, both Aaron Sorkin. BFA from Howard, MFA from NYU Tisch, and Spike Lee's assistant during grad school.
Her parents are both major figures in Jamaican cultural life. Her father, Charles Hyatt, was an actor, broadcaster, and comedian. Her mother, a museologist who was deputy director of the National Gallery of Jamaica. She grew up there before moving to the States as a child.
Tracy Ifichor and Alexandra Metz. Collins and Garcia in the show both had roles on the originals, the CW vampire drama, completely independently of each other. Different characters, different seasons. Ifichor played Aya al-Rashid. Metz had a recurring role as Katie. They ended up in the same Pittsburgh emergency room, having both passed through the same supernatural franchise.
Metz came at this with a Brown University degree in human biology, essentially a pre-med track through organic chemistry. She played Rapunzel in Once Upon a Time on ABC and had a recurring role as a detective on Chicago Fire. And Supriya Ganesh, who plays Mohan, has a neuroscience BS from Columbia with a gender studies minor and was actively tutoring for the MCAT while building her early acting credits.
2 people on a medical show who both had serious medical track academic histories. Ganesh grew up in India. Her Tamil parents moved back when she was 3. She was valedictorian of her class. Then came to Columbia, kept going through organic chemistry, and was tutoring MCAT students while picking up early credits in Law and Order and Chicago Med before Grownish gave her a recurring role.
Duran Howell, who plays Whitaker, spent 8 years on Young Dracula for CBBC starting in 2006, playing the title character, Vlad Dracula, in a children's horror comedy. That's essentially his entire adolescence on one production. Then Catch-22 for Hulu, which is a radically different register.
He's Welsh, which gets at how international this cast is. Ifichor is British. Hyatt was born in Birmingham. Briones was born in London while her father was on stage in the West End. Shabana Aziz, who plays Javadi, is Australian. A significant portion of this ensemble grew up outside the United States, which probably shapes the room in ways that are hard to articulate.
Aziz is stepping into this at a genuinely different level from most of the cast. She built her career in Australian film and television before the Pitt became her international breakthrough. She and Ball are the 2 people here arriving without a recognizable U.S. trail, surrounded by people who came from The Wire, Snowfall, The West Wing, and across 3 separate John Wells shows.
What this cast has is density, not just of experience, but of formation. 2 people with professional ballet and medical training behind them, 2 with serious pre-med academic histories, 2 who independently passed through the same vampire drama before landing here, 2 who've literally shared a screen with a famous parent. The Pitt didn't just hire good actors, it hired people with layered histories, and those histories are all visible in the room.
The ER thread connecting Wyle, Gemmell, Wells, LaNasa, and Hyatt makes this feel less like a new show and more like a conversation picked back up after 20 years. There's a shared vocabulary in the room.